Good afternoon. This is News at 2 live from Wisdom Yard Television. I am Odunwayo at Deliri. Here are the news headlines. Atiku slams Tinubu over silence on Lagos Assembly crisis. Petroleum tanker carrying 50,000 liters loses control in Oyo. Now the news in details. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has criticized President Bola Tinubu for his silence on the ongoing crisis in the Lagos State House of Assembly, calling it a tactic endorsement of anti-democratic tactics. In a statement issued on Thursday by his media aide, Paul Ibe, Atiku condemned what he described as backdoor tactics and the use of state-backed security forces to reverse the removal of former Speaker Mudashir Obasa, despite his ousting by most lawmakers. Obasa had earlier stormed the Lagos Assembly complex, insisting he remained Speaker despite opposition from most members of the chamber. Atiku urged that Tinubu's refusal to intervene raises concern about his commitment to democratic principles, especially in light of recent allegations by former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai that Tinubu engages in selective political control. Despite his undisputed influence over Lagos politics, President Bola Tinubu has remained conspicuously silent on the matter. His refusal to address the crisis suggests a tactic endorsement of the anti-democratic maneuver aimed at imposing his preferred candidate against the overwhelming will of assembly members, Atiku stated. He further accused Tinubu of turning Lagos politics into battle between the noble values of Omoluabi, rooted in integrity, fairness and public service, and the crude strong-arm tactics of area boy politics, where power is retained through coercion rather than consensus. Atiku called on the president to publicly denounce any attempt to undermine democracy in Lagos and to ensure that due process is upheld. Nigeria's democracy was hard fought and must not to be undermined by those who should be its foremost guardians. We urge all well-meaning Nigerians to remain vigilant and resolute in defending the sanctity of our democratic institutions, he added. A petroleum tanker carrying about 50,000 liters of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, has lost control in Oyo State. Daily Post gathered that the incident occurred at Olokpe Marun along the Ogbomosho-Oyo Road. The incident occurred on Thursday. It was learned that the tanker carrying 50,000 liters of PMS lost control while in motion and swerved off the road. Eyewitnesses at the scene immediately alerted the Oyo State Fire Service to avert danger. It was gathered that the firefighters were immediately mobilized at the scene. The General Manager of the Oyo State Fire Service, Mr. Yemi Akinka, confirmed the development to Daily Post on Thursday evening. He said, today, February 27, 2025, at exactly 14:53 hours, the emergency was reported via a distress call. By 14:55 hours, a fire tanker, 5 personnel, a CFS Dairo in charge left for the scene and arrived at 14:59 hours. We met a Mark trailer tanker carrying 50,000 liters of PMS that lost control while in motion, swerved off the road and detached from the head with its content gushing out. We quickly swung into action by carpeting the area with foam compound to avoid a fire disaster and are still at work, he said. Before the news comes to an end, here are the headlines once again. Atiku slams Tinubu over silence on Lagos Assembly crisis. Petroleum tanker carrying 50,000 liters loses control in Oyo. Thank you for staying tuned. I am Odunwayo at Deliri.